Hey, Carter.
Hello, Jackie. How are you? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How you doing?
I am doing excellent. How are you?
Great. I'm doing great.
Awesome. I'm
Um,
glad to hear it.
Now let's see how I can remove this little banner here so we can see you.
Cool. I'm here.
There you are. Nice to have you.
Jackie, thank you very much for having me on. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you putting this out for everyone. It's awesome. So I've been staying tuned.
I'm so excited. Here, I have a little intro for you. So let me play it.
I like it. All right. Thank you.
Yes, that's your intro there. And you specializing in commercial insurance.
That is correct.
Exciting stuff. How did you get started in this?
Yeah, so I actually got connected with Vested Risk Strategies a little over 3 years ago, about 3.5 years ago, going on 4 here. I went to Hillsdale College. Oh,
There you are. I'm giving you the stage.
There we go. I'm back. Yeah, so I went to Hillsdale College and got connected to Vested Risk Strategies through the Career Services Center there, and was able to make a connection with my now partner, Chris Sumnar, and we've been running ever since. So it's been an awesome experience.
And how long have you been doing it for?
Yeah, so been with the firm for 3.5 years. My first 3-4 months were spent as an intern, and they went well. So decided to come on full time, and it's been an awesome experience. If you would have asked me, 4 or 5 years ago, what I thought I would be doing and what career I would be doing, I would not have told you insurance. But I couldn't be happier that this is the space I'm in, and I am at the company that I'm working with. So really enjoying it.
And what's the goal? What's the goal for Vested Risk Strategies for its customers? It's kind of, commercial insurance.
Yeah.
How can you simplify and break it down so somebody could just, understand it in a sentence and understand what's happening?
Yeah. Well, what I would say, if I was to just spell out what our goal is for our clients in a sentence, is Vested Risk Strategies wants to help our clients break out of the traditional insurance space. So they're able to use risk management to own their own insurance company. And so it's a lot of different things going on there. But overall, our goal is to help our clients not have to pay their insurance bill anymore and own their own insurance company. So they're able to create a new profit center for themselves. And it's through risk management that our clients are able to do that.
And it's kind of hard to wrap your head around it. I know you were talking about how people pay insurance premiums, and we don't get that insurance premium. But if you're managing your risk assessment, you can actually get that money back. You used a really good example today that I think is really, it hits it right on the nail.
Yeah. Well, and what I'm talking about there is we take our clients through, we take them through a risk assessment where we are able to look at each individual area of risk that you face, not just, what risk does insurance cover, but what risks do you face in your everyday business that may not be covered by insurance, right? So we put together that assessment, help highlight and put together a heat map, so to say, of areas where you may be facing risks that you don't know about. As well, once we put that in place and help you drive your risk down by mitigating, different areas for claims, or mitigating areas where your company could be not operating as efficient as they could be, right? Mm-hmm. So in doing that, then it opens up the possibility for you to own your own insurance company. And the example I've given you is, let's say, we'll use easy numbers, right? Let's say you're spending $100 a year on insurance, right? Simple math guy. What you're doing right now is you're sending that money off to an insurance carrier, okay? And you don't see that money ever again, right? At the end of the year, they don't call you and go, hey, you didn't use this. Here's your money back. But they're using a model that is a 60-40 model. That's the rule of thumb. We just use it because it's easy numbers there. But they take 60% of your dollars that you spend and use that for claims. They take 40% of your dollars and they use that to run their insurance company. They have some costs, right? So the opportunity there for them to make money off of it is in that 60%. And so when you don't have claims, or you operate efficiently and you have good risk management tactics in place, you're able to recapture up to 60% of your insurance dollars each year. So that's the model through our risk management program that we try and get all of our clients to. Now, when I come into businesses, oftentimes they're not ready to be moved into a model like that. That's why we have our risk management program to help get them into the swing of things, get working with them. And we do work in the traditional insurance space to get them to that performance-based model. And that's the goal in mind for all of our clients.
And what kind of clients are you looking for?
Yeah, so at Vested Risk, we insure clients on all different facets of business and all different facets of life, from nursing homes to contractors. My focus, I specialize in transportation. I am a transportation and risk insurance professional. And so my focus is in any passenger transportation, trucking, last mile, middle mile, you name it. That's really where I spend a lot of my time, but also have a good background in manufacturing and contractors, as well as landscapers. I spend a great deal of time working with landscapers. So security firms is another one that's not too often heard of, but we work with a number of them to help put together programs for them also.
And this is where they could actually be getting back 60% of the insurance claim. Now that's huge. Like, I know health insurance is expensive, home and auto is expensive. If I had the opportunity where I can claim back 60% of my premiums, that could really save a lot of money.
Yeah. So, and these performance-based models, we use them on both sides of the house when it comes to commercial health insurance as well as commercial business insurance. Unfortunately, we're not at the point where we're able to bring this model to individuals and home and auto and umbrella. But we're focusing on working with business owners to help them use this model to recapture premium. And on the healthcare side, I can do this for firms that are, we can get you into performance-based models similar to the one I'm describing, as low as 10 lives on the plan. So there is opportunity there to strike at every level. You don't have to be a large multinational corporation to do this, right? So we've got options there for people, like I said, on the healthcare side, operating as low as 10 individuals. And it's never too early to start looking at a performance model, right? As business owners, we've got a mindset that we want to grow and we want to prosper. So you need to have the right risk management in place so that you are able to grow and prosper and able to recapture and use a model like this in the future, right? Majority of my clients are not in the performance-based space yet, but we've got the plan put together for them so that when they are ready, they're able to make that jump efficiently, smoothly, and it's going to be a success.
And it makes sense too, because it's actually like minimizing. Anytime you're minimizing risk as a business, that's a win-win, right? Even though you get to save on insurance here, but overall, really, it's a win-win if you're looking at different aspects of your business.
Exactly. And I give the example, and I know I've shared this with you before. I give the example of what's something that you discover in a risk assessment, Carter. Well, one of the areas we focus on that most insurance agents aren't talking about is, okay, when was the last time you did a review of your website? And I'll come into a client and ask that question, and you get varying different answers, right?
Right.
And when they say they haven't, I go, you need to talk to Jackie. What I do, an example though of what we do there is, when you are getting viewed by insurance carriers, right? You're going up for renewal, you're getting viewed by insurance carriers. The first thing they're going to do when they get a submission for your company is they're going to go to your website. What is your website saying you're doing? You may say you do this on paper, but what's your website say you do? And I give the example of coming across an equipment hauler who 95% of his business is hauling, machinery. That's small machinery, but he put on his website that he was hauling airplanes, and and I go, so I won't mention any names, but I go, why is this picture of you hauling an airplane on here? Do you do this often? You told me all you do is haul, small machinery. He goes, well, I did it back in 1993 and it looked really cool, so I wanted it on my website. I go, well, that's going to take, that's when you're looking at risk, a carrier looks at that and goes, that looks expensive and dangerous. We're out of here. So you want to make sure you improve you're improving your risk from multiple facets. It's not just, getting into performance-based space, but also how do you improve your risk and drive your cost of insurance down in the traditional insurance space while you're kind of in that incubator, so to say.
That makes sense. So what's the state of the commercial insurance industry right now?
Yeah, and we touched on this a little bit, but The state of the commercial insurance space right now is it's what we call a hard market. So we're seeing a lot of increased pricing, especially on property, and the transportation space is getting hit really hard. You look at any long haul or trucking risk. Posted an article a couple of weeks back about what the prices are looking like if you're in the pool. So they're all going up, unfortunately. Especially when we look at trucking companies, they're seeing. I've had clients who have been facing that are in the traditional space, facing 10, 20, 30% increases, and it's not due to their performance, but the performance of the industry as a whole. So if you're not taking risk management seriously, then these increases could hit you pretty heavily. So we want to make sure we put together a great risk management plan for you and explore the performance-based space as well, because the best risks are going to be moving out of the traditional insurance space, moving towards the performance-based space, which is where we see majority of premium dollars today.
And where do you see the commercial insurance industry going in the future?
Yeah, it really just reflects what I was just talking about there. Is we see it moving towards the performance-based space. The risks that are going to be left over in the traditional insurance space are going to be the risks that it's adverse selection right there, right? So if you're not performing well, you're not going to have the opportunity to go to the performance-based space, and your pricing is going to be reflected based on that. And we believe the number is about 80% of premium dollars, and all insurance is spent in the performance-based space. That is skewed by the Fortune 500 companies who are much larger. However, it is trending up. It's not going away. So we see that the best performers are moving out of the traditional space and into the performance-based space.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And in our last meeting, you mentioned certainty advantage process. What is that, and what does it look like for your clients?
Yeah, and the certainty advantage process is really what I talked about when we do that risk assessment. When we sit down and do discovery with a client, and we do this with every client, whether you are a one-man shop or you're 1,000 employees, right? We want to walk through and help you analyze your risk. This conversation could take 25, 30 minutes. It could take 2-3 hours, right? But we want to analyze risk at all levels. So what that does is helps us create a heat map of what are areas where you've got risk, or you have landmines, so to say, in your path that you might not see. And we're able to kind of put that up in an easy to see heat map where you're able to go, all right, we need to address this area. We haven't addressed this. So it allows companies to really see their risk overall. And then we put that into action. We put a game plan together, and we move forward and help our clients to change those landmine areas into potential strengths, or so that they're able to move ahead of their competition and not get tripped up.
That makes sense. It even goes back to that example about the website, making sure that you're putting stuff online that does not put you at risk for insurance costs. And probably a lot of people don't understand that insurance companies do that, right? Exactly. They go online and they look to see what kind of risk you're going to be. And that's also including your social media platforms.
Definitely. I would say that, making sure that your social media platforms actually portray what you do, rather than what you want to do or what you think you can
what
do.
Looks fun and exciting.
Exactly. What looks fun and exciting, right?
But I mean, it's dangerous and costly to insurance companies.
Exactly. No, you're right on spot with that.
That's really nice. Now, can you give an example how this has helped a client from one of your certainty advantage processes?
Yeah, of course. So one of the clients that I've worked with before, we also look at when I talk about risk, I don't talk about just your insurance or just your health insurance. Mm-hmm. We want to talk about everything. And I've mentioned that a couple of times, right? Right? One of the areas we also focus on is the transition of businesses, right? Business exit planning. So we've got a number of clients that are going through that time period where they're about 3 to 5 years out from a transition. Well, mm-hmm. They go, I'll handle that when that comes up, right? So what we're actually able to do was have a conversation of, do you realize the tax implications if you do not put a plan together now? You should start selling it. We put together a plan. Essentially what we did was put together a plan for a business to transition hands years in advance, so that when the time comes, let's say there's an unfortunate event where the owner is to pass away, there's a plan in place as to who that goes to, how it's handled, the transition there, so that, what we see too often is if that happens, then there's an unfortunate sale of the business, and then it's at a loss, right? Or the family's impacted negatively. They're not able to get everything that they deserve from that. So we put together a plan where the companies now have a full transition plan in place, and they're able to operate their day-to-day business and not have to worry about if something happens. Here's how transition goes. We have a plan for that already.
I love it. I really love it, because these are things that you don't look at, but you really should. It's kind of like, any kind of insurance, any kind of estate planning, financial planning. You really have to look at down the road how it's going to impact you. And as business owners, a lot of people might not understand they also have to do that for their businesses. So
exactly,
that's a great, great point, because we just go in there as entrepreneurs, we're just passionate about what we do, but how do we protect it? How do we protect our passions and our assets? So that's awesome. I love that. And what is the ultimate goal of your process with your clients? I think I asked you this in the beginning, but I think it's a nice way to kind of wrap it around.
It's exactly, the goal of our organization is to help our clients move from the traditional space where they're purchasing a 1-year Band-Aid, so to say, for an insurance policy, right? We want you to look at your insurance as a 3 to 5 year decision. Taking that long-term mindset and applying it to your insurance. You have a plan for your business over the next 3, 5, 10, X amount of years, right? Let's have a plan for your insurance over the next 3, 5, 10 years. And so it's moving those companies from the traditional space, helping them manage risk at such an efficient level that they are able to move to a performance-based model and recapture those premium dollars each year.
You got me at, if I can reclaim 60% of my insurance premiums. Like, that makes sense.
Yep. No,
like, show me the money. Like, where is? Oh, okay.
Insurance companies are some of the wealthiest organizations in the world for a reason. Their model works. So why can't you use it, right?
And not a lot of people understand that this option actually exists. You're the first person that educated me on this. So I thank you for that. And I hope, everybody that's watching can also, get to know that this process works and kind of investigate it and look at and see if it's something that would work for their businesses. And what's the best way for our viewers to get in touch with you?
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. So Jackie's put up my contact information. Easiest way to get a hold of me is probably my cell phone. I know that number was placed up there. Our website, if you have questions, you can visit that. I will provide my email address as well on here. But I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Facebook. Please reach out to me, Carter Wilson. I would love to just explore and see if there'd be a fit, or if there's any way I can help anybody when it comes to protecting their business and looking forward to the future when it comes to managing your risk.
Carter, thank you so much. That was so informative. Always learning. Always appreciate having you on. And everybody, please reach out to Carter Wilson from Vested Risk Investment, and he's there for you to ask questions. And I think like what you offer is just phenomenal. It's fantastic for clients.
No, Jackie, I really appreciate you taking the time to have me on here and putting this on. So I can't say enough nice things about Jackie. That you help me and my clients. So I really appreciate you taking the time to bring me on here so I'm able to speak. And no, keep doing what you're doing. It's greatly appreciated.
I love too how you're just so passionate about insurance. I just love it. Like, I get excited about insurance.
like I said, it's a necessary evil, but I've come to really enjoy it. And when you need it, you need it. And I really like being able to be the person that's there when something does go wrong, and I'm able to say, you're covered, you're taken care of, we're going to get this remedied for you. So that's what's helped me to be passionate about it. When you're able to see someone at a low point, you're able to come and help, right? So that's been an awesome feeling for me.
Perfect. So I'll just wrap it up here. I'm going to do a little outro video. And Carter, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate you.
Jackie, of course. Thank you for having me.
Thanks. And that's the end of our show. And for me, I'm Jackie Calixte of CTA Digital Marketing, and we specialize in websites and apps and social media. So if you need help with any of those, please reach out. Love to help you out.